What's up everyone, it's Ty with Montana Outlaw BBQ, and on this episode, we're gonna show you how to do hot and fast hanger ribs on the Gateway drum. You've seen us do competition, now we'll show you how we do it and we're just eating at home. So for today's cook, we're always going to be using our Compart ribs. Always start with a premium product if you want a premium flavor. Why do we use Compart Duroc? Well, because it's got great marbling, it's got that nice, really dark, rich pink flavor that we're looking for. It's going to lend itself to a really nice porky flavor. Unlike our competition rib, we're not going to be throwing nearly as much flavor, sweetness on this rib. We're looking for something that's more savory. It's got a good natural pork flavor, and we just want to put flavors on there that are going to enhance it and not overpower it. So it's going to be slightly different, but it's always so important to start with a premium product like this Compart Duroc pork rib. So for this, we're going to do very little trimming on it. We don't want to do a ton. I'm going to grab my paper towel because the one thing we do want to do, and we flip it over here in a second, is we want to make sure that we take that membrane off the back. But on the top here, real quick, what I'm going to do is the first thing is this fat cap right here. I just want to take that off because there's a lot of fat underneath there, as you can see. That's not going to really render out. It's going to leave that end rib pretty fatty. So we're just going to start by removing that. Unlike our competition rib, we're going to maximize our product output here. We're not going to limit it down to just the 9 bones like I do in competition. I want this to have as many ribs as possible. I am going to come down here though and just square it up. So I'm going to come in, you can feel that first kind of bone right there. Just going to square that up. I'm going to peel my membrane off. Again, just get right underneath that, take your paper towel and pull, much like that. And this one's getting a little bit difficult, but we're gonna get it, just like that. And peel that guy right off. Yeah, so you always wanna make sure that you peel this membrane off because I'll show you, it's really thick, it's really hard. Like that, I mean, you can't even hardly get your finger through it. Your rub's not gonna penetrate down through there, and there's a good chance it's gonna get crispy as you cook, and so it's gonna make it appear as though it's a lot tougher of a rib than it probably really is. And then we're just gonna go ahead and trim a little bit of this excess fat off the bottom here. Again, it's just not going to render out. It's going to make the rib seem fatty. We want it to be a great tasting rib, but we also want to say, like I say, produce the maximum number of ribs possible. So once you're done trimming like that, that's really all we're going to do right there. You can see it's a nice square rib for starters. We always want to think about presentation, and it's good. It's nice, thick. Again, this is how we're going to trim it home. Really fast, really quick. Not a lot of worry about detail. We just want to get rid of the parts we don't need. So now that it's all trimmed, we're going to jump right into our seasoning. All right, so we're all trimmed up. We're ready to season. Again, super simple compared to our competition rib cook. If you haven't watched it, make sure you follow or hop on over to our other videos. Check out the competition rib video. You're going to see a lot of differences in what we do here. But there is going to be some similarities. We're always going to start on the back side of the rib. The very first one we're going to use today is Big Papa Smoker's jalapeno seasoning salt, the Hallelujah. I like this one. It's got a good amount of salt to it, but that jalapeno really gives it a nice kick. At home, really not worried about impressing the judges. I'm cooking to my flavors today. So we're going to put a nice kind of medium coat of that on there. We're going to top that with our Montana Outlaw pork rub. This one's gonna bring in the sugar into it. It's gonna bring a little bit more salt. It's also gonna bring in that nice red color that we like from the paprika that's in there. This one we're gonna go a little bit heavier on, but again, nothing like we do in our competition rub. Okay, now that we got that, a quick tap and a flip. Rinse and repeat. Go with your jalapeno seasoned salt. Important to make sure you do each side the same, because you can take something away from competition and you want that flavor to be all over that rib, so each rib tastes the same. So make sure you pay just as much attention to both sides. So then just give it a little tap like we did on the back side. We also do want to mention that when you go check out that competition rib video, we just got a 180 perfect score for a KCBS contest at the Kenyon Noble Montana Pitmasters Classic a couple of weeks ago. So if you want to see what wins on the KCBS circuit, make sure you head over and check that out. And as always, thank you to that crew up in Kenyon Noble for putting on a great contest. Okay, we're all seasoned, super simple, nice and easy. That's how we do it at home. We're just gonna let that rest for 15 minutes to 30 minutes. We want it to sweat a little bit, and then we're gonna hang these ribs. So I'm gonna show you how we put the hanging contraption in the grill. I don't know what else to call it. The hanging rod's in it. We've got hooks that we're gonna hook underneath the ribs, and we're gonna get them on the smoker. This is gonna be a little hotter, it's gonna be a little faster, but the nice thing is if you're hanging out on the weekends, you just want something that's really easy, you throw on the grill, it's a no hassle thing, this is the method for you. So come back, check it out, we're gonna get it on the smoker. So now our ribs have sweated. You can see they're starting to get a little moisture pulled out on there. That's from that salt reacting with some of the moisture content that's left over in that rib. So that's what we want to see. Does a couple of things for us, whether you're cooking competition or you're cooking at home. What it does is it makes sure that that salt's penetrating. It's going to help with your smoke ring. It's also going to make sure that the sugar in the pork rub, in the Montana Outlaw pork rub, it's got a little moisture to it, so it's not going to burn. Sugar gets bitter when it burns. We don't want to do that. So we want to make sure we allow that time. Seeing what I like there. So now it's time to hook them and hang them in the grill. So let me show you how we do that. What I like to do is I like to hook the thickest part, or we got that fatty end, that's normally our thinner part. I like to hook that in. I like to come in 2 ribs, in part because these are gonna be hung for a majority of the cook, if not all of the cook, depending on how they set color. If you hang them on this outside rib, as that cooks, that becomes tender. There's a chance that that rib could pull out. Your ribs are gonna fall down into the charcoal basket. We don't wanna do that. So I like to come in, 2 ribs in, go right underneath it, hook it just like that. And now I've got that rib hooked, it's in there secure, and I've got enough room on there that I can hang it on my rack inside the smoker. So we'll do the same thing. I gotta flip this one over. We got that 1 rib there, and we've got 2 ribs right there. So come in right tight on that, go in, and there we go. Now, we've got that ready to rock and roll. Okay, next step is let's get them right out to the grill. Today, we're gonna be using the Gateway drum smoker. We're gonna run it 300 degrees straight up over royal oak charcoal. It's gonna give it an awesome flavor, awesome color. It's gonna cook really fast. So again, 3.5 hours. A majority, if not all of this, is gonna be outside of, or is gonna be hanging. When I say most, if not all, what I mean is if the color starts to get really dark, or I notice that we're starting to get past that point, it's starting to get almost burnt, I may pull them, wrap them just to finish them off. But the goal with these ribs at home is just to hang them, forget about them for 3.5 hours, come back, check them just periodically, maybe a spritz of water if we need some moisture in there. But this is supposed to be a no hassle cook, very, very easy. So let's get it out to the grill right now. All right, so for today's hot and fast hanger rib cook, we're gonna be using our great Gateway drum smoker. We're running royal oak charcoal. You can see we're running right at about 300 degrees, which is where we want to be. And we got a good clean fire going. It's very important that we don't have a dirty fire. So not a lot of smoke coming out of there. That's going to make sure that we get really good color, but a really good smoke flavor. So you can see we've got the rack in place here instead of the grate today. We're just going to take our ribs, hang 1 on each side. So you just take them in there, hang them just like that. That's all there is to it. Those are gonna hang just like that. We'll come back, check them periodically, but they really shouldn't have a whole lot that needs to be done to them throughout this cook. 3 to 3.5 hours, we should be getting good pullback, great color, and then we'll sauce them and eat them. All right, ribs are done. We're ready to rock and roll. Took just about right at 3 hours on the drum. This was a no wrap rib. You can see this was the side that hung down a little bit. Got a little dark down there, that's okay. This rib over here, beautiful, really like it. These are gonna be warm, So make sure that you pull them out quick, and you probably should wear hot gloves when you do it. So that's okay. Okay, get those out of there. All right, so these ribs are ready. I can smell them, good flavor. They got a good charcoal smoke to them. Really, really like them. Let's slide this one off to the side here. Let's flip them over. Same thing though, I mean, we're gonna cut them just like we would at a competition. Take your knife and cut right down. And again, these were a no wrap rib. So we're not looking for these things to just fall off the bone. We want it to be a good bite. Cut. Take your sauce. Today we're gonna use Head Country. We just really like this sauce. It's not too sweet. It's got a good little bite to it. Just give it a little drizzle on the back, just hit it. Don't have to be pretty with it. Remember, we're just going for something that's gonna taste good. Flip the ribs over. I mean, first thing right out of the gate, I'll grab one here in just a second and show you, but these ribs are cooked perfectly. They smell delicious. Again, just hit them with a nice little drizzle. Just put that on a plate. And that is a platter of barbecue ribs right there. That'll impress your neighborhood guests when you have them over, impress your family, impress your friends. Really quick, really easy weekend cook. 3 hours on the drum smoker, no wrap, no frills, just good barbecue. Look at that. Look at that smoke ring in there. You can see that pretty smoke ring in there. Oh, so tender. So good. Everyone, this is Ty with Montana Outlaw BBQ. Again, thank you for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. You don't want to miss anything that we're doing. We're doing barbecue, every style you can think of. Check out our Instagram, our Facebook, our Pinterest, working on TikTok stuff. We're gonna be coming at you in anywhere you can find us with recipes, with tips, tricks, from competition to backyard, everything. It's all good. Join us next time. I'm gonna keep eating this rib. Until then, keep cooking.